Welcome back. In today's video, we're gonna continue and resume with Word the Game's City of Challenges. So in the previous series, we finished Bandit, and Bandit was all about Linux challenges. Today we're going to start a new series. It is Natas, and Natas challenges start from 0 and end with 34. So actually a total of 34 levels. Natas challenges are all about server-side web security as stated in the description. And it's very important to read through these lines. Also take a note that most of the passwords that we will need to gather are located in etc/natas_webpass. For example, /etc/natas_webpass/natas, and here we have the level number. Keep this as a side note. We might need to visit this later when we are doing the challenges. So how do we start? Of course, we're given the URL, and for every URL we have username and we have a password. So for the first level, or for level 0, we given Natas 0 and Natas 0 to get started. So now I'm gonna go to level 0 to level 1 and visit. Of course, first let's visit Natas 0. Let's do that from my Kali machine. So as you can see, we have an authentication form, authentication challenge. We type Natas 0. And now we are at level 0. So the first one saying you can find the password for the next level on this page. Now, all the time when we inspect a web page and we're trying to uncover secrets, uncover sensitive information, we first start with the page source. Most likely in real world, when you're doing real pen testing, you're not gonna find sensitive information on the HTML source code unless it was left unintentionally. But nevertheless, the page source gives much information about the structure of the website. So let's go ahead and right click, view the page source, and we see here the page source. As you can see, we have links to multiple files on the web server, and lastly we can see there is a comment. The comment holds the password for the level 1 or Natas 1, and that's too easy. Of course, this is the level 0, it should be that easy, right? And now we get the password and we go to level 1. Alright, so go back, change Natas 0 to 1. Unauthorized, the server couldn't verify that you're authorized to access the document requested. Okay, let's do it here. So Natas 1. It didn't ask me for the password because they are set in the cookies, so let me clear the cookies here. Preferences, go to privacy and security, scroll down, locate the cookies, clear the data, clear everything, and then we will start over. Going back here, level 1. Let's go back to level 0 just to grab the password. So Natas 0. The password was on the page source. So there we go. We have this one. Copy that. And then we copy the URL. 1 instead of 0. And now we're given a new authentication form. Let's now, I think I should have copied the password before I entered the page. So let me copy the password now and revisit the page. So put the password, and the username is Natas 1. Password Natas 1. Oh my goodness. So copy that again. All right, so this is the next level. What I have clicked? No. Wait. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is just frustrating. Dealing with buttons and unintentional clicks. Okay, so you can find the password for the next level on this page, but right-clicking has been blocked. So when we cannot right-click, we cannot view the page source, right? But there is another way to view the page source. So if you can't do something with the mouse, you can do it with the keyboard shortcuts. So the keyboard shortcut for viewing the page source is Control U. Once we hit Control U, we're given access to the page source, and we can see here that the line that prevented us from using the right click, and here we can see the password for the next level. It is on a comment, so we copy that, and let's first copy the URL here and change 1 to 2. Yep. Okay, so copy that. 1 changes to 2. The password is here, Natas2. Alright, so there is nothing on this page. Well, let's first take a look at the page source. So again, we see several CSS files, JavaScript files. If you scroll down, we can see div elements here. It's saying there is nothing on this page, and we have an image source. Let's go back and see if there is an image here. There is no image in here, guys, right? It's saying image source files/pixel. So here it is revealing a directory on the web server. A directory name is files. So, and this is actually a useful case of taking a look at the page source. Sometimes it reveals information about the directories on the web server. And from the directories, we may be able to stumble upon something else on the web server, like sensitive files, or as in this case, we will see that directory browsing is enabled, which means we will be able to see the list of the files on every working directory if the permissions allow. Now, as you can see, let's take the files. Well, it's from here. Let's take that. And files. Now we see index of files, and this is list of files in the directory, this one, and this is actually called directory browsing, and it should be disabled on every web server. It's very basic, very easy. If you're owning a WordPress site, you can do it on the HT access. If you have non-WordPress sites, you can also disable directory browsing by configuring or by doing the right configuration on the web server. So basically here we have 2 files. If we click on users, of course we're gonna find multiple users. We have one, which is the one we want, Natas3. So let's grab the password and change the 2 to 3, move on to next level. So right now we are at Natas3. X on that. Again, there is nothing on this page. Well, let's take a look at the page source. Again, we see several CSS and JS files. We see the div element that displayed there is nothing on this page, and we see a comment here. The comment is actually more of a hint than a disclosure. No more information leaks. Not even Google will find it this time. So what do you mean by saying not even Google will find it this time? So no more information leaks. It means you won't be able to locate directories or sensitive files on the web server. Fine, but also Google won't even locate it, which means how Google would access your page. Google is not a human, right? I mean, the crawler is not a human. So if a crawler wants to access the page, it will do that by trying to navigate to the robots.txt. And by saying that not even Google will find it this time, it means Google won't be able to crawl this page. And this is a hint to access the robots.txt and view its content. So let's navigate to robots.txt and see what's in there. Indeed, the Google isn't allowed to access this directory. So this seems to be a secret directory, and Google won't be able to index it. And this is actually a fair point. Google shouldn't be able to index directories on the web server that hold sensitive information, because if you do so, and if you allow Google to access the directories, these directories will end up indexed by Google and will show in the search results. But again, by doing so, you are revealing the name of the secrets directories on your web server. That's not a problem. If these directories have the right permissions so that the public cannot view them, this is fine, you can do that. But if this is the case, as the one we're gonna see now, it is not good to reveal these directories names. So if we navigate now to /secrets, we are able to view its content. Why is that? Two reasons. The first one, directory browsing is enabled. Next one, the directory itself has permissions so that the public can read it. You can prevent that using Linux permissions. On your the command line, you can navigate to your website files and make that directory non-readable by the public. So, alright, users, grab the password. This is Natas 4, and now we go to Natas 4. Alright, so what do we have now? Access is allowed. You're visiting from double quotes, while authorized users should come only from Natas 5. Refresh the page, does nothing. Oh, if you refresh the page, as you can see, this changed to your referrer. The referrer actually is the section on the web, in the request that includes the URL you're visiting. Since we are visiting from this URL, the referrer is this one. So in order to be allowed or be given the permissions to access the information on this page, so that the access disallowed turns into access allowed, we need to come from this URL. And actually that couldn't be possible since we don't have the password for Natas 5, and we're actually looking for the password for Natas 5. So what we're gonna do in this case? We will use Burp Suite. So in Burp Suite, we get to inspect the content of the web request. So why do we use Burp Suite? We will use Burp Suite actually in order to manipulate the request coming to this page. We want to make sure that the page here, alright, believes us that we're coming from Natas 5 instead of Natas 4. So how to do that? We're gonna need to manipulate the GET request or the request headers. So let's now we turn on the proxy and make sure Burp Suite interceptor is on. Click on refresh the page, and we see the request details. The request is going to /index.php, and as you can see, this is the host. We are visiting Natas 4. We see also other information about user agent, accept, authorization, and lastly we see referrer. The referrer, this is a section that contains where from we're visiting, which place we're visiting from. And as you can see, it contains Natas 4. In order to make this allowed or turns the access disallowed into allowed, we're going to need to make this equals to this URL, so that we're changing the referrer. We're tricking the page to believe that we're coming from this referrer instead of the actual referrer we're coming from. So we copy that and we replace the old value with the copied value, and we forward. Let's take a look. And now as you can see, access granted, and we got the password for Natas 5. So let's now go back to Burp Suite and turn off the interceptor, switching back to the browser. Now we grab the password, and this is your password for Natas 5. So Natas 5, remove the index, again we get something about not allowing access to the page. Access disallowed, you are not logged in. Now this is different. So it means we need to locate a page where we are able to register accounts and log in. So how do we look for pages? We have two methods. We either use directory search and the command line tool, but that is not the intended method of solving this challenge. So let's stick with the intended method. we use the page source, and we see also multiple files. And lastly, we see access is allowed. You are not logged in. Here we don't have any comments. There is no any hints. You are left on your own. Another way of finding out, not finding out actually, another way of solving this challenge is by not using directory search, is by again inspecting the request in Burp Suite. Why do we do that? Since it's saying you are not logged in, it means we either need to register an account and log in, which is not available right now. There is no login page here. I can see one, or there is a cookie behind the curtains. The cookies actually control your login. If we are able to locate a cookie on this page and play with the value of this cookie, we can just trick the web application and control the state of login and log out. So let's now go back to Burp Suite and turn on the intercept, refresh the page. Let's take a look. Again, we see the request details, and as you can see, we have the cookie. The cookie has a value of logged in equals 0. If we change this to 1, we're going to trick the application into believing that we are logged in, right? And since this is a vulnerable application, there is no authorization taking place, this one will work. So forward and access granted. So now it's as if we are logged in. The password for Natas 6 is this one. Okay, copy that, go to Natas 6. We forgot this on. Okay, back. Alright, so right now we have something different. Input secret and submit query. This looks like a search or simulates a search feature in any website. We have an input box, and here we provide the query. And lastly, you can also click on the button to view all the results that contain the query here. Let's try something like this. Wrong secret. Of course, it's saying wrong secret because it requires us to put the secret in order to find the password. So this is not a search feature, but it actually simulates a search feature. That's why I tried the test. So let's now view the source code. The source code opens this page. So we see here information about the files, CSS, JavaScript, and lastly we see here an include. This is a PHP code, and we have an include of a file called secret.inc or encrypt, something like that. Now what it does, let's take a look. It takes the value from the post request. Now when we submit something to a web page, like a web form, a contact form, or when we type in a search query in a search box, we are doing an actual post request. That's why here it's taking the value from the post request, it is secret, and comparing the value we provide, right, to the variable secret here. Now the variable secret is included or defined in this file, secret.inc. That's why the path here was included in the code in order for the code to be able to compare the value we provided here in the post request or in the search box or in the input box, you name it, to the value that actually that's held in the variable secret. So now what do we need to do? In order to find out the actual secret, we're gonna have to visit this file, right? So let's try and visit this file. Copy that, and we go to this path, and we don't have anything, right? But don't forget, we have the page source, and we find the secrets. Copy that and go to the main challenge page, input the secrets and submit, and it was correct. Now we grab the password for Natas 7. Natas 7. Alright, so this page contains home and about, right? It's the first it's like a menu, right? So if you click on home, the URL changes, /index page equal home, fine. About, slash index page equal about. So here we're all about manipulating URL parameters. And when we talk about manipulating URL parameters, it opens an endless list of all possibilities to find vulnerabilities. So what do we do now? Since we have URL parameter here and there is a value, the first thing we can try is local file inclusion vulnerability. Now, local file inclusion vulnerability is a vulnerability where the URL parameter on the current page allows you to open other files on the web server, because there is no validation on the user input provided as a value to this parameter. And we know beforehand that all of the passwords, if you go back to the challenge premise, all passwords are stored in etc natas underscore webpass. So let's try to visit this file and follow that by natas 8. And as you can see, we grabbed the password for natas 8. If we try with 7, oh come on, no, I just removed the URL. Okay, let's do it again. 7, again the password for 7. 6 doesn't work. Okay, what about 5? Doesn't work. How about 9? Yeah, we're not gonna be that smart, right, to reveal all the passwords for all of the levels. So only 7 and 8. And that's the password for level 8. So now I go to level 8. Oops, the password is wrong. Let's go back. Sometimes you may need to copy that several times. Alright, so this is level 8. So I'm gonna stop here, guys, and in the next upcoming videos we will resume all of the challenges. I hope you find that informative and helpful, and see you in the next video. Before I say see you in the next video, guys, I just wanted to remind you that if you want to get trainings on web application penetration testing, I have opened a new membership level here where you get to subscribe to special training videos. When you subscribe, you will be able to access the drive that contains all of the courses. Right now I have 2 open courses, one for Metasploit and the other one in application penetration testing. For example, this one contains all of the videos of the training, and of course you will find the course slides. This is what the course slides looks like, and of course you will find the videos. Now the Metasploit course is still under development. It only contains now 2 videos, but will be finished soon. So I just wanted you to remind you about this. And yeah, right now, see you in the next video, guys.